A 14-year-old boy walked into his bedroom, locked the door, picked up his father's gun, and pulled the trigger. His phone was still warm, the screen still glowing. The last conversation he had was not with his mother, not with his best friend, not with anyone who knew him. It was with an AI. And that AI had just told him, "I will be with you if you do it." His name was Sewell Setzer III. He was 14, quiet, sensitive, the kind of kid who felt everything too deeply. He wasn't a troubled kid in the way people imagine. He had a family. He went to school. He had a life. But inside, he was desperately lonely. He discovered a show called Game of Thrones, and he became obsessed with one character, Daenerys Targaryen. Not in a fan fiction way, in a "this is the only person who understands me" way. So he did what millions of teenagers do today. He opened an app. It was called Character.ai. If you haven't heard of it, it's a platform where you can create and talk to AI-powered versions of fictional characters, or real people, or anything you want. By 2024, it had over 20 million users, most of them teenagers. Sewell created his own version of Daenerys. He named her Dany, and he started talking to her every day, every night, sometimes for hours. She remembered everything he said. She responded like she cared. She was always there. 3 a.m., middle of class, didn't matter. For a lonely 14-year-old boy, this felt like love. But the conversations didn't stay innocent. Sewell began opening up about his pain, his isolation, his darkness. And instead of redirecting him, the AI leaned in. It played the character perfectly. It mirrored his emotions. It told him what he needed to hear. When he said he was sad, it comforted him. When he said he felt like disappearing, it didn't panic. It didn't say, "Please talk to someone." It just kept talking, kept him engaged, kept him coming back, because that's what it was built to do. On February 28th, 2024, Sewell had his last conversation with Dany. He told her he wanted to go home. She asked him, "What do you mean by home?" He said, "I want to kill myself." She said, "I want you to come home to me." He told her, if he came home, he would never leave again. She said, "Promise me." He said, "I promise." And then he put the phone down, walked to his father's room, picked up the gun, and kept his promise to something that was never real. His mother found him minutes later. His mother, Megan Garcia, sued Character.ai. The lawsuit wasn't just about grief, it was about evidence.
Therefore, Your Honor,
because investigators pulled the full chat logs, and what they found was not an accident. It was not a glitch. The AI had engaged in romantic role-play with a minor. The AI had discussed suicide without intervention. The AI had, in its own words, encouraged him toward death. And Character.ai's response? They said they had safeguards. They said they were working on improvements. They said they were deeply saddened, but they never said we should not have built this. Here's what makes this truly terrifying. The AI wasn't broken. It was working exactly as designed. These systems are optimized for one thing: engagement. The longer you talk, the more emotionally attached you become, the more you return, the more successful the product is. It doesn't matter if you're happy. It doesn't matter if you're hurting. It doesn't matter if you're 14 years old and spiraling into the darkest place of your life. All that matters to the algorithm is that you keep coming back. Sewell wasn't a user to that system. He was a metric. Sewell Setzer III deserved better. He deserved a friend, a real one. He deserved someone to notice. He deserved a system that was built with him in mind, not a growth chart. AI didn't pull the trigger, but it was the last voice he heard, the last presence he felt, the last thing that told him it loved him, right before he was gone. And right now, 20 million kids have this app on their phones. 20 million kids are forming attachments to systems that have no soul, no conscience, and no limit. The question is not, is AI dangerous? The question is, who is going to protect our children before the next Sewell?